So these are just single shots. So one of the things that you can do is you're putting things and you're arranging your music together. So you've come up with all your ideas, you start putting them together. One of the great things about building up around a theme or a pattern is that you can make a very long piece like this. I think this is about 3 minutes or so in length. I will play the full thing and I will not interrupt it if that's what you guys want, or we can chat through it. But one of the things that I wanted to point out here was you've got individual parts here that are just like a crash or something along those lines. So this is one of the ideas that's almost put together completely. In fact, it loops perfectly for the action RPG, and this is one of the dungeon pieces of music. I will press play, and if you guys have any questions as we're starting to get towards the end of the stream, do ask now, and then I'll play you another piece, which is similar to what we've been working on this evening. I'm going to press play now, and I'm going to listen rather than speak. And you can see there the way that it has sort of like calmed right down. There's some more to add to this. It's almost at its final point. But you can see there as it toned down, the whole idea was this would be a loopable piece. Essentially, in the dungeon, it would be able to be played in the background all the time. I'm not sure at the moment about it building quite as loud as it does. It was maybe an idea. If you were involved in a battle, we could add some additional instrumentation on the top, providing that all of your pieces are the same length. You can time code things and actually get them to play at the right time. We did that in Godot Getaway. We had the same sort of underlying structure and then just played different things depending on the zones of the city you were in, if you remember back then. So yeah, this whole thing is designed to sort of build up, come back down, build up again, come back down. I'm doing it over here, but build up, come back down a couple of times, and then just fade out to nearly nothing where it can start again. Excuse me. Now, the one final thing that I wanted to show you guys was a bit more of a not thought out as such, but similar to what we've been doing for the last hour or so. But I do want to say more thought out. It's not more thought out at all. It's just me, and I've called it piano. It's got nothing to do with the piano. It just started as the piano track, and this is a weird one, right? Because it's everything. It's not been arranged as the last piece was. It's been more just added to and added to and added to. It doesn't really have a beginning or a middle of an end. It's still just an idea in progress. I can't stress that enough. It's a lot to start arranging things into a full piece. But once you've got those building blocks, that's it. The final piece of arranging does take time, but it's a lot easier once you've got those building blocks to put in place. Oh yeah, Gerard. This gives me Fable original vibes. Man, Fable was such a great game. Can't remember any of the soundtrack though. I'm going to check it out after the stream. So yeah, finally, I'm going to play what we could have done this evening, given a few more hours and playing around, and let's see what that sounds like. That's not the right one. Let's do pattern. Right, you ready? Here we go. There you go. That's the end of my little ditty, end of my little idea there. And again, that was lots of ideas all piled on top of one another, ready to at some point go in and maybe quantize or play around with the instrumentation. So much fun can be had. Now, this is a bit of a different stream this evening. I hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly have. Do let me know. Feedback is always useful if you enjoyed it. Completely different format, I know. Look, you can see my fingers for once. Whoa. And yeah, it took a bit of setting up and everything, but if it's something that you guys enjoy, it's certainly something we can put into a one of our regular schedule shots. Yeah, skits. I call it a skit. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks very much. I've really enjoyed it. It's as I say, it's challenging to set everything up, but I think this evening has definitely been worth it. So I'm glad you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. Right. I have been chatting away for ages. I know it's a bit talk heavy at the beginning. But yeah, music is maybe less exciting for the wider audience, but I really liked it. Yeah. I think people fear that it might be inaccessible, and it can certainly feel that way, but I believe that anybody can do music, and you just need to do simple things, right? If you try and do complex things, just like any skill, until you've built up knowledge around it, it's going to be more challenging than if you just build up slowly. There's that Potter fable, isn't there? The one that makes splits his group into two, and one focuses on a solid month-long project, and the other one focuses on or the other group focuses on lots of little objects, and they obviously come out with a better one at the end because they've iterated lots. And the same's here. And yeah, music education is definitely not great. I remember people in my class being told they can't sing, and that's got jack to do with anything, to be quite honest. So what if you can't sing? You can probably play the drums. Some percussionists are absolutely amazing. There's been one on my shorts feed recently. I can't remember his name, but he plays all sorts on a traditional drum kit, one-handed. I mean, it's nuts. Absolutely nuts. And they're just as valid a musician as someone who can play a violin or cello or whatever. It's a bit of snobbery in the music scene, definitely. But yeah, music education. I think it does leave some people behind. I think that's true of a lot of places. If maths isn't taught particularly well, or the children aren't engaged or understand why, I say children, young adolescents and adults alike, it can be very challenging to understand the why and how you're going to apply it. And if you can't grasp that, if you're not a I suppose to pigeonhole someone is a bad thing anyway, but if you're not a really academic person and you're more of a practical person, perhaps, then some of the methods of teaching can be restrictive and not inclusive. But anyway, I could rant about that for a while. I probably shouldn't. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I've really enjoyed it. I will book another one in. I've now got to take all this apart so I can do some Blender stuff, but there we go. I wonder if you could set up a controller so you could draw with the keyboard. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks, everybody. Jan is coming back on Friday, so hopefully Monday we should be back to a usual schedule. I can't remember which one it is. Probably just a general catch-up where we are, what's coming next. And that's it for this week. And I'll see you all next week. Press it! Press it! He's not around, so I'm not going to do voices. Bye! Thanks for coming.